Okay, I'm getting started on my next bowl. I have gotten a little behind. The hurricane, which I didn't have much damage, just a lot of debris that I had to pick up, so all the time it took doing that. And then we were also on vacation during the hurricane, but in any case, I'm trying to catch up here. But this piece of wood is Tabebuia, which is a really nice tropical tree that has yellow flowers, and it gets a lot of yellow flowers. Now, an acquaintance of mine had trees that were in the power lines. They had to cut them up, and so I got a few pieces. This is a nice crotch that has some dead wood in the middle of it. It's got a branch here, and then a main trunk over there. The one thing odd about this wood, or maybe it's not so odd, if you look here, you can see it comes to here, and then it changes color and density, and then it has the bark on the outside. So I assume it's the cambium layer and the heartwood and so on. Here you can see that over here I just cut. This was cut by the person who gave me the wood, and and you look here, you can see that the bark and then the cambium layer and then the wood. So I suspect I'm going to lose all of this, what appears to me to be a softer wood. I don't know though. So it's an experiment. My intent here is to split this way and make two flat three-trunked bowl, or whatever, three-cornered bowls, and it'll have this rotten or dead section in the middle, which I don't know what it's going to look like when I get inside the wood. But okay, I cut it in half. Again, it's Tabebuia. I think I got a pretty straight cut. This wood here sticking out comes from dead wood that I guess the original trunk was there, and two things were split off of that. That were alive that split off from it. I don't know exactly what happened here, but it might be interesting. This wood all out here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be losing. So all of this softer wood that's in the boundary might be lost also. So I don't know how successful I'm going to be at turning this. Okay, I'm going to turn this here. I'm expecting that this is not going to work because it's just too soft and wet. But you never know. But I might end up taking off a lot of wood, or it'll dry and crack loose, which it looks like it does right here anyway. So I might be taking off a lot of wood before I even get to where I have a shape. Might end up being a very small bowl with soft areas in it, because even this stuff is all soft. So. Okay, I just measured the moisture on this stuff. This stuff that's turning green is very soft and is saturated with moisture. It's like got the texture of celery or something, or not celery, or carrot, but it's green here. It's got 69% moisture. I don't know how accurate the moisture is, just that's a big number. This area here is like 16. This white area is 24, 25. This green area is 69. So obviously it's got a lot of water to lose, and I suspect when it shrinks it's going to separate and not work out for me. So we'll see. I'm just going to let it sit overnight, see what happens. I may have to throw it in the microwave if overnight doesn't do it, but I'm sure a lot will evaporate just because it's exposed and it's so high a density amount of water. Okay, I've turned this around. I have my largest 4-jaw chuck on there because this wood is so soft and fragile that I wanted to make sure I got as much on there as I could. I didn't show that to you. It's probably in some earlier video. But so my intent now is to hollow this out some, just so I can dry it. Because I don't know if you can see, but there's gaps in certain places. They were particularly on the back, but stuff is drying, but it's still very wet, and I'm going to probably microwave dry it once I cut it thinner than what it currently is. So maybe you can see, I've run this quite a bit in the microwave in 5-minute intervals at half power. So, and then I don't run them one right after the other, so it cools down in between. But yeah, I don't know if you can see the texture here, but this is dented in quite a bit. You know, here's the bark, here's the cambium layer, it's really sunk in. This is the heartwood, and you can see the cambium layer is so soft, it's all fuzzy, and you can see this is shrunk because this surface and that surface used to be in line with each other, but this has shrunk in a lot. It's still holding together pretty well. I'm actually kind of amazed how well it's staying together. Now as I machine this again, I don't know what's going to happen because there's quite a bit of shrinkage, so I'm going to have to take off as much as a 1/4 inch to get this all collinear or whatever all the way around, so it's looks nice. We'll see. I mean, the wood is definitely interesting because this wood here is, when you first cut it open and expose it, it has the texture and the look of a raw potato. So it's not like, doesn't look like wood. But in any case, I'm gonna go do something with this. Well, I'm going to go through and add some super glue, and hopefully I'm not wasting all this effort. It's an unusual bowl, that's for sure. But I noticed that this piece here is wanting to come out, and it'll expose quite a bit of area here, so I need to stake that in well. And I might dribble some super glue over all this soft wood, and so I might use quite a bit of super glue. And I might have to use some thick in these areas where this piece is loose, because I got to fill this gap. So we'll see how that goes. I probably will not film that. Okay, I'm getting ready to put on my first coat of tried and true finish, and so this is pretty good. It's relatively dry because I've microwaved it quite a bit. I still haven't gotten rid of the tenon on the back, so that'll do after I've put a coat of finish on here. So that's where I am. Well, I forgot to turn the camera on, so here's almost done. And it really turned out way better than I expected. It's got a lot of character, I guess you'd say. This bark is kind of like cork. It doesn't want to take finish very much. It kind of slips off and runs around a little bit. It does seem to be working, but it's definitely different than I expected. But in any case, that's where I am. Okay, I'm getting ready to take the tenon off. we'll see how that goes. I think this wood is relatively soft in the end, so I'm going to be careful. Hopefully I can avoid breaking something. Okay, here's my final take of my Tabebuia crotch. I had a lot of discussion all through the video about how much trouble I was having. And it turned out a lot better than I expected. One thing that's of interest there is that very dark band right here. When I first cut into that, that's white, has the texture and look of a inside of a raw potato. And so I was worried that that was just going to make this not work out. But I ran it in the microwave quite a bit, 5-minute intervals, separated by time so they cooled, and got quite a bit of the moisture out by just doing that. And then just sitting around while I was exposing it. I did some of the microwave with more of the inside of the bowl not cut out. Then I did it after I cut it out so it would knock it down. Of interest is just that it stayed together, and it doesn't even appear that it is a risk of coming apart. The dark area just shrank and was able to absorb the tension, I assume. Now maybe over time it's going to dry even more because it's not fully dry yet. But in any case, it's at this point it looks pretty interesting. The bark, if you look at it close, kind of reminds me of a cork, a wine cork. It's got a lot of little lines and features, and it takes finish a little different than the rest of the wood did. And additionally, that dark wood was white, and then it kind of turned green, and then overnight it turned tan, and then by the time I got done here, it's dark brown, almost black. So it changed quite a bit. I think that's about it. I think I'm going to risk trying another bowl where I turn it upside down. From this was turned to have a natural or a live edge. The other one's going to be turned as a normal bowl. We'll see what happens because where the soft wood is different in that bowl versus this bowl. Here I was cutting it away near the top. In the case of the bowl being flipped over, it'll be near the bottom of the bowl, and so it may or may not survive, but I think it should work out okay. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe for more similar wood turning videos. Please comment on the video and I should respond. I make a video about once a week.